Welcome back to The Christian View, and we're here with Carol Swain, and we're talking from her book, Be the People. But we want to address another issue. We want to talk about, has America gone too far? Has America turned her back on God, and is there hope still left for America? Your thoughts?
2 Chronicles 7:14 says, if my people, people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from my wicked ways, then I'll hear from heaven.
I tell you, she does make a really good point in her book where she says that it's sickening, and it really is sickening to hear our presidents, our leaders give their little speeches. We now have same-sex marriage. God bless America.
God bless Planned Parenthood.
Really? God bless Planned Parenthood. God bless America. Is that not? That is sickening.
It is, but God is still in control.
Right.
And you say, in one of your comments, I've heard you say that we say we're Christians in America. Probably 86, 87% of the people say we're Christians, but we live like atheists.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what?
So
I love
cowards.
Yeah, and I love
Amen.
2 Chronicles 7:14. To seek His face, we got to hit ours. We got to get on our face, and we've got to repent. And He said it's up to us to do it.
But
It's
Carol,
not the
you did
world.
say one thing, and I want you to really elaborate on this one because it scared the life out of me when I read it. You said, if God has removed His hand, or if He has turned His back because of turning against Israel, same-sex, Planned Parenthood, we can pray all day long and...
Well, first of all, I don't believe that it's too late for America. If I believe that, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. And the prophet Jeremiah, there was at one point the Lord told him, don't even lift up a prayer for these people.
Right.
I have yet to hear a prayer warrior tell me or tell the world that God told them to stop praying for America.
Right.
When we all start saying that the Lord said, I don't want to hear anything else about America, no more prayers for America, then, the judgment. Right. But I do think that if God didn't spare ancient Israel, if He used her enemies against her, the most heinous nations, why should He spare America?
Yeah. One thing you said in your book, Dr. Swain, is that and talking about our forefathers being covenant people, and that they founded our Constitution like Israel, and that so that we wouldn't become like Rome. Do you feel that we're becoming like Rome?
Here's what I said in my book, or tried to convey, is that if you look at some of the Puritans and the Pilgrims, that many of them and some of the colonies, they were clearly Christian, so they sought to establish a covenant with God. And so if you believe that a covenant is something that leaders of a nation, if you're founding a nation and you've founded, the show, do you think that your vision for that show, like if you had a mission statement, do you think it carries some spiritual weight? I would say that those people that were the founders of our nation, that when they did their prayers and when they committed the nation to God, that they went into that having the whole Bible. The Bible was completed.
I think
and so they knew the consequences for disobedience. And so I think that it does have spiritual consequences. And we have prospered as a nation, and we have willingly turned our back on God. And so why shouldn't we suffer the consequences of Deuteronomy chapter 28? And I would urge everyone to read it. And a lot of the prosperity pastors, they hang out on the blessings part or the first part
Verse
of
1 through 14.
Right. Well,
Go to 15.
read the rest of Deuteronomy chapter 28.
But if you don't, he talks about if you don't,
Carol, you're right. So what can we do as people? Let's talk about that a little bit. What can we encourage our viewers? What can we do ourselves to be the people and to start turning this tide? With elections coming.
The first thing we have to do is that we as Christians, we have to be the role models. Too many people have lost, even though we know that, you can't judge God by what the actions of people, but many that are professing to be Christians are not actually measuring up to the mark, and people are seeing the hypocrisy. And when you see the hypocrisy, not only just from pastors, lay leaders, politicians, and then just given our country, we said we're founded on Christian values, but then, we had slavery and all these other things, and we haven't, and people would say we haven't made a lot of those things right yet. So yet,
Well, I mean, we don't want to get into a big debate about slavery, but from my perspective, you know, that was the means by which my people got to America, and because of that, I exist as a human being that has blood from many different nationalities. And if you look at how prosperous black people are in America and how they are in the rest of the world, we're the most prosperous blacks in the world. You know, slavery has always existed. It still exists, and it may have been the vehicle that God used to get me and my people to America. So I just don't know that.
He turned it for our good.
But we're
your
here
good.
Everything is for good.
And we're here now.
You know,
Right.
some of the scriptures you brought out, like Daniel 2:20, God, He's the one that makes the seasons. He raises up kings and He removes kings.
Right.
And then in Timothy, you said, brought up that verse that says, pray for those who have the rule over you. And if whether you agree with the president or not, or you
Right.
like him or
Most
not, you
definitely,
pray
yes.
for
Right,
him.
that's
You
right.
pray for those. They're leading
you
in
just don't
country.
pray for their success if they are engaged in ungodly behavior. You pray that they would become enlightened.
Yes.
Yes.
That's good.
Oh, my
One
goodness,
thing
yeah.
you said was that Christians need to vote, first of all, because a lot of Christians, I don't know what the percentage is, don't vote. And the other thing is to get out and run for office.
I don't think that they should vote for anyone that the political party trots across the stage.
Yeah.
I think that if you want to change America, that people do need to read the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, read the Ten Commandments and the Bible. They need to know that our founding principles are sort of built around all of that.
Yep.
And so I think you go back to basics and that knowledge. If you have the knowledge,
Yeah.
then I believe that that's where you begin.
So you think we need to be enlightened, you know, because many, as you said, don't know they're being deceived and they don't understand, and we only
Well, Lee,
get.
a lot of people have been Democrat their entire life, so they're going to always vote Democrat. The others have been Republican their entire life. They're going to always vote Republican. They need to see what's going on in the
wait
world.
a minute. As far as political party, and we don't want to get too much into politics, but I was a Democrat most of my life. But when I had my Christian conversion experience, I started feeling uncomfortable with the abortion and with the agenda. And so then I became an independent. For years, I was an independent. Then President Bush appointed me to 2 positions as a political appointee as an independent. I started hanging out with good Republican people, and before I knew it, I was a Republican. That's how